Hello, Meoni here, and welcome to my Glamour Challenge. This is where I get to challenge my Patreons and, of course, my friends to see if they can come up with some interesting Glamour choices. This week's challenge is none other than the Proto Ultima mesh. This is something obtained in Idyllshire from a repeatable quest from a goblin in the Gobworks called an unidentified object. This basically tasks you with going in the Dunscape Alliance raid from back in Heavensward and defeating the middle mini-boss, the Proto Ultima. Now, once you've come back to Idyllshire and turned that quest in, you get one of those Proto Ultima heat shields, which can be exchanged for a load of low item level, really good at the time, Heavensward accessories, as well, of course, as this level 1 glamour choice, the Proto Ultima mesh. Now, putting a set together around this is going to be quite a challenge, considering it's undyeable and obviously has quite a unique aesthetic with those particular stylized elements and, of course, that color choice. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do to make this into something unique. So without further ado, we have Zurafa representing the Lalafels this time around this week, and we also have Dano there representing the Cat Boys. Now, we do have a bit of a surprise later on, but anyway, let's look at what sets these two came up with. Before we get looking at the individual items, it's worth noting that they've had about 3 to 4 weeks, nearly a full month to actually prepare for this video, and it's really cool to see what they've come up with. And I think these sets have evolved over time as they've looked further into the game files, unlike the last Glamour Challenge, where we had much less time on our hands. So I gave them a bit longer to come up with something that they were happy with, and I think that both sets here, before we start scrutinizing them individually, I think they are both suiting that chess piece quite well. So let's start with Zurafa. Let's look at this little Lalafell. I have to zoom in a little bit more and frame it up differently, and we'll go through those set pieces. So then, Zurafa's Lalafell, almost screaming Metal Gear Rising Revengeance at me with that particular almost Raiden-like headpiece. In particular, that headpiece is the titanium mask of maiming dyed gobby bag brown dye. I really do like this helmet. It does really remind me of Raiden from Metal Gear. As much as he's trying to show off his contest-winning hair here, it really does complement the chest piece quite well, especially considering there is like only that small neck strap towards the bottom, so it doesn't look completely disjointed from that chest piece, which I believe is one of the things he was going for overall. The chest piece is obviously the Proto Ultima mesh, and to go with that, he decided to go with the Augmented Slipstream Gauntlets of Maiming, again dyed gobby bag brown to go with that chest piece. I really quite like these, the Slipstream gloves. It's definitely a different way of displaying them, and yeah, they really do go quite well with the chest piece. I think they sort of extend the arms out just a few inches more than conventional gloves, especially with that almost feather-like motif, and it really does make it look like it's part of the full set, which is really, really well done. For the legs, he went with the Hemiskin Briars of Maiming. These are jet black dyed. You can't really see them here, but he basically just dyed these. You know, if you do happen to see him whilst he's running around, you will just see that little bit of black, which kind of makes it look like the rest of the set. If he wasn't a Lalafell, you would see slightly more of those legs, but yeah, they are pretty much very bog standard black colored leggings. As for the feet though, these are again the Augmented Slipstream Sabatons of Maiming dyed gobby bag brown dye. So much like the hands, this is part of that Augmented Slipstream set, but I do believe that this works really well together. I mean, it just works, doesn't it, as a Dragoon set. And to finish off the entire thing, I did ask them all to choose a weapon to go with their sets as best as possible, and Zurafa went with the Black Willow Spear, which is full of that chrome, and there's a touch of blue on there as well from a gem that slightly glows when you unsheath it, and yeah, it's spiky, so it works quite well. So yeah, let me know what you think about Zurafa's in the comment section below. But now let's move on to Dano's set. This is on his Cat Boy. So as we look at Dano's set here, you'll see that he's gone for the role of melee DPS, and specifically for this glamour, he has chosen Ninja. Dano loves his melee DPS, and he told me before I recorded this audio that he was planning on using this for his actual Ninja's glamour in the future, so he's that confident behind it. I do like this set. It does look very aesthetically pleasing, much like Zurafa's, and goes well with that chest plate. So first of all, the helm is actually the Scion Rogue's bandana. You can obtain this throughout the main storyline progression, and specifically if you have mislaid this, you can go to a Calamity Salvager and purchase it back for only a couple hundred of gil. It's a very effective item, one of the many bandanas in the game. At the time though, there was really only 2 bandanas, and this was the one that most people use because it covers only half of the head and only one eye, and a lot of people decided to go for this look to sort of mimic the idea of Thancred. Now, to go with that chest piece, I believe this is Dano's weakest point here, and this is the hands. He decided to go for the Favnerian gloves, dyed soot black dye. Now, there is a little bit of a border between the leather and the gloves themselves with a slight difference in texture, which is immediately noticeable. I was kind of hoping he would have gone for something a little bit more arm covering so that there wasn't quite an obvious transition, but it doesn't look too bad from a distance, but up close you can really see that join. But, you know, does it really matter? The gloves do go well with that chest plate, but I believe that the majority of the fingerless gloves that he could have chose would have the same issue as well. For the legs, you can actually see them on this character because it's not a Lalafell. He went for the Hakama number 55, which is throughout the main storyline progression. This is an item you get in Stormblood for a quest where you infiltrate the Imperial Legion, and is a particularly nice leg piece. I do like this. This is undyeable, but it goes with the chest piece perfectly. And finally, to finish off the armor set, he went with the antiquated Kage Kakushi Kai-an, which was a absolute potato to try and pronounce, I'll assure you, which are part of the ninja set. You can go and get the antiquated sets over in the tavern in Ishgard, and you can purchase these with allied seals. To finish off the set then, in terms of a weapon, he decided to go for the Bluespirit Daggers. I personally love these. These were added in Shadowbringers, and the Bluespirit stuff is really underrated. Not many people seem to be using it, but really, this does bring out quite a lot from that set. I mean, the only thing on the chest piece that sort of is blue is there's a little gem next to the neck there, and we also have that rib cage with the 2 lines of blue highlights. So it does kind of work really well because the weapon itself does have a bit of gold on it, a little bit of chrome, and then these bright blue pieces of crystal that look like they were ripped straight off the Crystal Tower. So yeah, it really does fit in with the theme of this set, and that sort of elegant empire almost coming through in that aesthetic. I really like this set in general. Dano did an absolutely wonderful job, and that's pretty much it. So which one did you prefer? Did you prefer Zurafiel's or Dano's? Wait, I've forgotten something. Oh wait, I said there would be a surprise. And yes, we managed to include one of our fans, and indeed Patreon supporters, from none other than the Fairy server on Aether Data Center. This did include me making a new character just to record this, but it was totally worth it. So Absentine Starfrost is the star of our 3rd Glamour option today, and she has come up with some pretty awesome looking glamour. So Absentine has gone for a machinist set specifically, and when talking with her, she mentioned how she wanted to create something specific so that people could actually pick up these pieces. They're quite easy to obtain, so you won't really find anything here locked behind too much of a wall. So firstly, let's look at this set. The helm that she decided to use is the Replica Sky Pirate's Mask of Striking. This is usable by all classes. Originally, the Sky Pirate's Mask of Striking, like all of the other Sky Pirate sets, were locked to individual classes. The reason this isn't is that the Ishgard restoration happened, and you can purchase items from the restoration via scripts to actually craft yourself some all classes glamour versions of those pieces, all available from level 1 and above. If you were to purchase these from a market board, these might cost you a fair amount depending on your server, but they are really, really cool. And I think it goes really well with the chest piece. To go further on with that route, she decided to go with the Ironworks Vambraces of Aiming, which really bring that sort of elegant empire look, which we actually saw in Zurafiel's set as well earlier in the video. I think these go just as well, and yeah, this is not something I would have immediately imagined to work with this, but it really does quite well. And then we have the Taoist slops as the legs. So these are dyed Ratano blue dye to go with that chest piece. And I think they work quite well. Again, the legs not really the most visible thing on this set, thanks to that chest piece, but I think it adds to that quite well. And to finish off that set, she decided to go with the Augmented Skaven Greaves of Aiming. These are the Skaven set Augmented from Stormblood, which are level 70, item level 400, aiming specific boots. I really like these, and these are dyed Ratano blue as well. To finish off the entire set then, she decided to go with the Ironworks Magitech Repeater. You can go and grab this in more donor for Poetics. And yeah, I really like this gun. There's been a lot of people using this in Allagan themed sets for the longest time, and it works just as well here. Really going well with that main chest piece. I think Absentine has come up with something that is definitely a different style, and obviously this is a female character, so we have a slight contrast to the male outfits we saw earlier on. So I guess then we have to choose between 3 now. So I'd like people to either put an X for Zurafa in the comment section, a D for Dano, or an A for Absentine. We're going to tally these up and see who wins. Thank you all kindly for watching the Glamour Challenge. If you have any ideas for future Glamour Challenges, or if you have your own set you would like to share, list the items below that would go with that Proto Ultima mesh, and maybe people will get some really interesting ideas for Glamour. Thank you all kindly for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Never trust a potato to bear one time. Jeez.